pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the meeting to order. Can I get roll call, please?
Trustee Henry.
Here.
Trustee Jarvis. Here. Trustee Penn. Here. Trustee Williams.
Here.
Mayor Jerry.
Here. Public concerns. You're on the agenda if you wanted to wait unless,
I thought it was here.
are you, actually, there's no reason why we can't do it right now. Is that okay? We can do it right now and then you won't have to wait for the whole meeting.
Melinda Comstock, speaking for the ATHS. ATHS and San Luna Purcell requested and received permission from you to use the George Park Pavilion in September of this year. Due to circumstances beyond anyone's control, ATHS and San Luna Purcell are not able to do that event as scheduled. And we would like to request permission to do it in September of 2013.
Okay.
And also, because the planning stage is coming up in September, and we really are we'd like the whole community to participate in this event. And we'll be sending you a letter of invitation to the meeting, and it'd be very nice if someone from the board could come and find out what it's all about.
And obviously you don't have a date yet, correct? The exact date?
It's probably going to be similar to what was this year. It'll be the weekend after Labor Day, not the Labor Day, any
Okay.
weekend Labor Day, and then a follow-up. So no, we'll plan that in September of this year.
Okay. I
I'm
think,
sorry that we can't do that.
no. Is everybody okay with still allowing permission for them to use the Pavilion 2013 for their Harvest Ball? I don't think I need a motion because until you come up with the exact date but we're definitely in support of it. I think it's a good idea. Any other public concerns?
Just wanted to say thank you to the police department. Over the weekend, we had a couple of idiots in one of the motel rooms up at the Alex Bay Lodge, and they were very helpful, very fit. One gentleman, I can't remember his name, I tried to get a hold of credit for him.
Officer Moot?
What's that?
Officer Moot? Sheldon Moot?
Yeah, Sheldon, that's what he said, Sheldon, yep. And he was very helpful. And then the state police carted him off, and I just wanted to say thank you to the police department. They did a nice job.
Thanks. Any other public concerns?
I'm just concerned with some of the properties around the village. I've got two on my street where the grass is shea high.
Mm-hmm.
Can something be done? I realize there's a couple of the properties that are in foreclosure, which makes it even harder. But I mean, especially my street, and I mean, even when you come in on the arch, the left side of the arch, the grass is up to here. We're gonna be starting our big season soon.
Right.
And I'm on a main street, Church Street is a main street. I mean, somebody's gotta do something. Obviously, the property owners aren't.
Right. Shooky had sent out several notifications, and by sending those out, quite a few people did take care of their property. And then there's a few, because of foreclosure and other reasons, that hadn't done so. So Shooky came back and asked the board's permission to send out a second notice, which he has done in following the code in the code book.
Mhm.
There's steps that have to be taken. So I haven't spoken to him since that time. He hasn't called me to let me know what's been done. I know the one across the street from you is in foreclosure. So I don't know whose property that would be, but I'll touch base with Shooky.
There's a new law that was passed, I think last year, that puts an obligation on the banks to maintain properties in foreclosure, so you may want to get a hold of the banks.
Because I believe both the properties on my street are in foreclosure.
I'm just writing down what Mark said. Okay. I'll speak with Shooky about it tomorrow.
Okay, thanks.
I'm told the one by the arch that is okay with the village. I mean, we are coming up on big weekend, but we look one nicer coming into our village.
Whose property is that? By the arch?
Which one are you talking about? Part of Family Dollar.
Oh, is it Family Dollar?
Left-hand side Family Dollar. What side are you talking
Oh, all the way to the corner? I thought that little parcel was Edgewood's. Just
Oh,
that little
that's what I'm
part.
asking. I didn't know where it was.
Yeah, the left side, where
that's
it butts
Edgewood.
up to Kearns.
Edgewood owns a little piece in there where the
Yeah.
sign is.
I think that's Family Dollar. Part of that.
Yeah, they might lease a spot there to put their
I
sign.
don't think they're from Corliss.
I think it's Edgewood's.
I'm not pulling their lawn.
Well, maybe we should check into that.
It might not be Edgewood's, because
They used to have a sign there, but the
Right.
sign's no longer there.
Family Dollar's then.
Okay. I'll check into that tomorrow night. Thanks for the offer.
Yeah, anything
I'll let you know.
on make the village look better.
Okay. Thanks, Ellen. Any other public concerns? Okay. Correspondence. I would like to take the time to thank the town of Alexandria Bay for your hospitality. We visited on the long weekend in September and had a wonderful time. I wish our town of Perth, Ontario would adopt your approach to out-of-time meters. Perth gets many tourists throughout the summer, and my husband and I have heard many complaints about parking tickets. Tourists bring in a lot of revenue to our town, and we think it is a shame for them to be fined. We will be back again, American friends. Jane and Randy Hiller, Perth, Ontario. The Girl Scouts of New York Penn Pathways would like to take this opportunity to thank you for opening your facility to host Girl Scout troop meetings. Your support ensures that girls in our area are able to learn and experience new and exciting avenues of leadership. We appreciate your continued support. Thank you, Karen Streif, Community Development Manager. I will take a motion to approve the minutes from the May 22nd meeting.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Motion by trustee Penn, seconded by trustee Henry. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Take a motion to pay the bills.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills.
Second.
Motion by trustee Henry, seconded by trustee Williams. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Motion to pay the payroll.
Make a motion to pay the payroll.
Second.
Motion by trustee Jarvis, seconded by trustee Williams. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Trustee reports. Trustee Henry?
The village park has been cleaned, they weed eated, they cut a bunch of, trimmed a lot of the trees, and they've been mowing up there. Fern Peterson started today. When the weather gets nice, she's gonna be cleaning and painting. They've been doing a lot of work up there. The dock tennis will start tomorrow, and they'll be enforcing the docking regulations on our docks. The lifeguards have started, and security starts on Friday. That's all I have.
Okay. Trustee Penn?
The golf course has been doing their regular breading, cutting, mowing of the greens. They have also worked on putting the new planters and the seed and topsoil in the municipal building. They've worked on their backhoe. There was an hydraulic leak issue with it, but it's since been repaired. Our roller for the greens was broken. It's since been repaired, so now they'll be able to roll the greens to make them fast for those golfers that like them that way. And that's about it.
Trustee Jarvis?
Pardon me. At sewer plant, they're hauling 1 load per day, 3 days a week for the sludge. And they've been doing general cleaning and getting ready to do some painting in the building. And the water plant, the motor, you're gonna have Leon check on it tomorrow?
Leon's still working on it. So as soon as we get that solved, let you know. I gotta get with Critter in there because he's got the guy's name in Ivan's first. We may have to send it out.
Okay. Trustee Williams?
Our main mower that we use around the village blew a rod through the side of the engine. So we got a couple prices. We get $650 to repair it. And if we repair it, the repair shop said the next thing they'll go is the transmission. So they didn't recommend doing that. To replace it with a mower that's better than the one we got and it's more commercial would cost $2,400 on the state bid. And we got the same bid from 2 different places. And I didn't know what the board's pleasure is on that. Either we repair it or replace it, but we need more.
What size is that mower?
It's, you got the number?
We just bought, the one we just bought was it's a 17 horse, but it's a light duty, it's called an LT. That's what they sold us from John Deere. It's 2 years old. It's 2 years old, and it's just over the hours on the warranty. Of course, there's no warranty on it. The new one would be a 300, which is the whole, it's more commercial made than it is. The LT you could buy like at Lowe's or something, that's what they sell out in front of Lowe's. That's a John Deere, that's the one we got. And the guy just said it probably wouldn't hold up, even if we put another motor on it. He said it probably wouldn't hold up. He didn't, both places didn't suggest putting a motor on it. It was a light duty motor. It's your job, we can put a motor on for $650, but the LT will go up to it'll be an 18 horse motor, but a whole different body under it. That's a whole different mower.
And he also said, because I was talking, we had him on speaker, and myself, Greg Millett, Russell Henry, and he also said the transmission wasn't gonna last much longer than that too, with the hours on it. Like, we got a lot of hours on it. It's a home unit, the one we got, or we ended up with.
And the other difference is the one that we bought an LT, which is next one's a little bigger. The LT is a 2-year warranty. The 300's a 4-year warranty.
How big a mower on it? Deck?
Yeah, 42. You can't go any bigger than that because we have to go around and stuff up the park.
Do you have that in your budget, Greg?
We'd have to look at contractuals, which we could break it out of probably multiples because you got the park, we do the park, we do the municipal building, so we could pull it out of building. We'll have to work it. We'll have to talk to Judy
I mean, I know you have,
and see what's there.
I know
mean,
there's
it's-
contractual
The other mower is
buildings.
just, it's still just like brand new. I mean, it's like, if you wanted to sell it outright, and they wanted to put a $600 motor on it for the front lawn. It probably, I mean, we haven't, it's got 215 hours on it, that's all it's got on it.
so you don't have anything for the next 2 weeks before we meet again if we make sure? we're-
I don't have a mower, no.
Right.
But we used the one at the sewer plant, that one, I called and we talked to the gentleman and he said that if you're doing this, he said, if you're doing the same thing, he says, keep that one where it's at. He said, don't go running that one all over either, because that's not a heavy duty either. He said, keep that one going where it's at. That's all, there's suggestions, I don't know, these guys run the mowers, they know the mowers, I don't.
Right.
But they're
So-
suggesting a commercial mower is more of a 300 or 300 series, it's a different style. I did get a price for the golf course too, at the same time, state contract price
Okay.
for the big one up there.
So what do we want to do? Do we want to wait till the next meeting to come up with some prices and make sure that it's in his budget? Or do you want to make a motion? I mean, he has money in several different parts of the budget, so.
I'd like to make a motion we purchase that mower.
Motion by trustee Henry,
Second.
seconded by trustee Jarvis. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
That was
Curiosity, how much was the
2,400.
golf course
Oh.
one?
8,100. But that's a lot, that's twice the size of the one we need.
Right.
I got that right here, I'll give it to you after. It came through on the state at the same time. It would be $8,110, but that's a 725. Charges are 300, so it's quite a bit bigger, it's a lot bigger.
Mark, what do you do when you get a price from 2 people and it's the same price?
You need to have some way to distinguish them. I mean, is there any way to distinguish them based on service or location or anything else?
They're both John Deere dealers, one's out of Casanova and one's right in Teresa. And I called and they go on the computer and get it right off the computer and it shows you what
Well,
we
you've
get.
got the same thing, but you've got a person who's a little bit more local.
Right, one's Burville, one's...
Is that easier for service or is it? Or does it matter? I don't know.
One's in Burville, and where's the other one?
Well, our other one was 2 days out of warranty, and the one close by wouldn't fix it, so.
But it's,
Well, can we just pick which one we want to buy from?
flip a coin, make a choice, doesn't matter. I mean, they're the same price. It's not a competitive bid situation, you've only got the quotes.
All right. Okay.
Did you have anything
Other
else to
things?
report?
Sure. The brush hauling. We would like to stop brush hauling on June 22nd and continue it in the fall and September. So we'll get it caught up and then that'll be it. Greg does that every year. They put a little thing in the paper and say we're done for the year.
Because what happens is right now I gotta try to get lines painted and it takes 3 guys. So that switches the whole shift for 3 guys for 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks to paint lines, and I can't get lines painted with them. We're picking brush every Thursday, Friday, all day. So I mean, we could do it for another week. It's slowed down a lot. It's got a lot better now. But just so people don't get onto us because we're not gonna get to it, because I'm gonna have 3 guys in.
Right, I just know last year there was the situation where there was the storm, but then, I mean.
Oh, we'll do it if there's a storm.
Right, or if there's a slow week and somebody has some or something, it doesn't mean we have to
And I
stop
mean,
it completely.
we don't usually stop completely because
Yeah.
even if somebody throws a bag of grass out, I have the guys that are coming in, the part-time people that come in on the Saturdays and Sundays, they'll buzz by and pick up grass on a Saturday when they're slow. I mean, we're not gonna completely stop, but just to
Right.
get the big piles, we need to slow down a little bit for that.
Okay.
We usually do this every year,
Mhm.
just to give us a chance to catch up.
Okay.
He just wanted to get permission to purchase the employee shirts for the DPW, the park attendants, the lifeguards, and he got a local quote. Downtown was as good as out of town, so it's $574. That's the quote.
That's everybody's shirt for the season.
The last thing is Steve Garsaw's position. He left the village and went to Watertown, and it's opened up now. And we were wondering if we could fill that at the next meeting, or what the board thought about filling that position.
I think it needs to be filled. He was a full-time guy, right? So if we could take the next couple of weeks and discuss it.
And we have advertised in-house, so
Okay,
there's an application from in-house, so.
okay. If everybody's okay with that, wait until the next meeting? Okay.
And then at the next meeting, the guy that moves to that is a seasonal worker.
Mhm.
And he was wondering about advertising for the seasonal position if we fill it. So, that's great.
Yeah, which I did, and I picked up a couple more applications that are seasonal, so.
Okay,
And we're still one full-time guy out
yeah,
compared to last year.
okay.
And that's all I have to report.
Okay. Police report dated May 9th to May 22nd, 2012. 35 calls and complaints, 5 arrests, 8 vehicle stops, 4 tickets issued, 1 court security detail, the 2009 Crown Victoria. Says unknown accumulated mileage, same for the 2006 Crown Vic. same for the 1999. Dog control officer report, 2 dog complaints, 3 warnings issued, 0 tickets, 1 dog picked up, 0 dogs returned. And the report is submitted by the Chief Marshal. Okay. Old business, lift pumps. Steve. What do you want to do with your lift pumps?
Those can be tabled.
Okay.
Will you motion to table it?
Yeah.
Make a motion, we table it.
Motion by trustee Williams, seconded by trustee Penn to table the lift pumps. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Anybody else have anything under old business? Okay. New business. Golf refund Dottie Tidd. In my excitement to be back to Alexandria Bay, I enrolled both myself and my hubby, Donald Tidd, for season passes. I paid by credit card. It was a, I think that says aha moment or duh moment. He just had a blood clot in his left arm after receiving a pacemaker. Plus, he has, what was that, macular degeneration. I don't know. I knew the degeneration.
Macular.
Okay. He will on occasion play with the guys who help him spot the ball. Would it be possible to get a refund? It would be appreciated because it's a lot of money. Thanks for considering, Dottie Tidd. So she just wants her husband's season pass refunded. What does everybody think about that?
I'll make a motion to refund our money.
Second.
Motion by trustee Henry, seconded by trustee Jarvis to refund Dottie Tidd's husband's season pass. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Golf refund, Aaron Beebe. I don't know much about this one, so if somebody can explain it.
You know the whole story.
Aaron got a season pass stating that he was a student. He's not a student. And when Molly was going through the list, she noticed his name and knew that he wasn't a student. So she called him up and told him he had to pay the extra, and he hasn't come up to pay it yet. And he keeps asking him for his money back.
But he's played.
But he has played. I don't know, I believe just once. But we'd have to look through all the lists and see. The difference is $60 and $200 and something for outside resident.
So he played how much?
I know he's played once.
No, he paid how
No, he
much?
paid $60.
$60.
Is that what it's supposed to be?
We didn't raise the students.
Outside is 225 or 200 and something.
What I think we should do is take the money out for the time he did play, and then return the rest. Tell him that's what I would do.
Look through, because we keep all those logs, correct? I think that's a good idea. Look through and see how many times he's played. And
The other suggestion was that you look through as many times he played and tell him if he's played once, then he'd have to be able to play 5 more times.
One time.
And just not give him his money. Just tell him he played 5 more times and that's it.
oh, that's a good idea. That would be much easier. Do we want to,
That
Which
would
do you
be my
think?
suggestion as well.
and not refund him anything? Just say that.
He can use it up and play.
Sounds great.
I will take a motion to have somebody research how many times he's played and find out what he has left for a balance and allow him to play that many more times.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion by trustee Penn, seconded by trustee Jarvis. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. To whom it may concern, this letter is to inform the village board and fire department officers of my resignation as acting apparatus and equipment mechanic for the fire department. It has been a pleasure working for the fire department and the village. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Sincerely, Hunter Grimes. Two of those tonight. To the village board, I am writing this letter to inform you that effective May 24th, 2012, I am putting in my 2 weeks' notice. I got a job at another DPW starting out making more money than I am at the Bay DPW. I enjoy my job at the Alex Bay DPW, but have to go with more pay and advancement at Watertown DPW. I am getting married and have to think about my wife and kid now, not just myself. I thank you for the chance to work here and have learned a lot. My last day of work will be June 7th, 2012. I hope there is no hard feelings, and I am always willing to help the Bay DPW if needed in the future. Thanks, Steve Garsaw. I actually last week had a very nice conversation with Steve, who said if we're ever in a jam or need any help, to not hesitate to call him, which I thought was very nice, so hate to see him go. Damon Shangraw, Community Garden Water. Do you know that one?
Damon asked me to put this, he said he was gonna come in, but he's not, but they have, community gardens up on this corner where the two doors are, up on the corner of Church and Avery. And, I guess they've been using his water on the side of his house. And he was, the way I got it is he was looking to see if he can get Johnson's activated. The old Johnson house activated. Is there a meter there?
No. He would have to dig it. I've talked to Damon several times on this. He don't want to dig the line up, but I told him the village can't go in on his property and dig up a line and put it in there. We can't go in on private property and dig a line from. I said, our line's ends, it's a shut-off. If he wants to hook onto the line that went in the yard and hook it up, we would hook a meter to it. But I said, I didn't think personally the village would go in and dig on somebody's property and put a water line in for him. That's your choice, but that's what I said to him. I said, I don't think.
And then he wanted to get that meter charged to the Rotary Club, because they're the one doing the community garden water. So, but he's not here, so.
And that way we talked about it would be only water, it wouldn't be water and sewer, it would be just water.
Right.
And then he talked about going through his water shut off on the side of the house and putting one there and then subtracting it off his meter. And I said, you're gonna have to talk to the board, because I said, that's just the girls in the office are gonna have to sit there and try to subtract, figure the bill out and stuff. So I said,
Yeah.
that's up to you. I said, I'll do the bill and do whatever you.
Okay, does someone want to make a motion to table that, and maybe he can come to the next meeting and ask for himself?
I make a motion, we table Damon's request.
A motion by trustee Williams, seconded by trustee Jarvis. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Justin Taylor Shared Services Agreement with Jefferson County.
Well, he told me he was coming too, and then he called me before I got here. Told me he wouldn't be here tonight. But, hey, that's right down there. Yeah, this is another part of it. But, Mark, I think you can explain it better.
Well, over a course of a lot of years, there have been different agreements between the county and the towns and villages about sharing equipment and that sort of thing. The most recent effort of this took place maybe a year and a half ago or so, and the supervisors got together and came up with a standardized agreement that all the towns and villages would use with the county, and a lot of people weighed in on it. And apparently all the towns and villages adopted it, but perhaps not the village of Alexandria Bay.
That's what he said.
And the county is reluctant to share their equipment with you unless you're part of the agreement, so they know how it's going to work. It's not a bad agreement. The agreement, as I say, has been approved by virtually every town and village in the county. It was negotiated pretty strenuously, as I recall at the time. And as I recall, our office did recommend it to a number of other committees we represented, and we similarly recommend it to you. Basically, it just provides for a way of trying to balance the books after a certain time. I mean, the usual deal is we'll lend you a truck this week and you'll lend to somebody next week and we'll balance it out at the end, and this is not.
So,
And they did loan, the county loaned us a roller for the blacktop job we just did. If we pave, we get.
We actually use a lot of stuff in the county. The biker weekend is a big weekend. That's our most expensive weekend for the county, because they'll bring down all the barricades. When I get that, at the end of the year, we get a shared service breakdown of how much it would have cost us if we'd had to hire the work done. So So that's what it basically tells you exactly what we've used in the county.
He said no money exchanges
And
hands.
don't exchange hands, nothing changes.
Unless you damage the other's equipment.
Right.
And other than that, it's kind of like just keeping track of what's going on.
And years ago, that's what happened was when we sweep Church Street, we were supposed to break Church Street down and give it to them, but we used to charge them. So that was a state thing too, so it all got screwed up in a mess. And so that's why they were trying to get everything leveled out, so everything became back on one sheet. So if we borrow something from them, like I borrow stuff from the state also, so. So it's always a shared servicing now, it's just it's a paper sheet when you.
Well, yeah, the comptroller's office
Yeah,
prefers that
that's
you have
good.
some sort of an agreement to share the services, so that it's properly authorized under whatever it is, our technology and the
Okay. I will take a motion to allow me to sign the shared services agreement with Jefferson County.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
6G, not 9G.
Oh,
Mark, and then Danielle has it, but there's a sample resolution, is that something?
Yeah, it's part of what was developed.
So as
Part
long as
of
we
it,
adapt
yeah.
it.
I mean, if you're going to agree to allow Danielle to sign the agreement, you would pass that resolution.
I forgot who made the motion, who seconded.
I did.
But, motion by trustee Henry, seconded by trustee Jarvis, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. So you're saying that a motion isn't gonna do it, we have to pass a resolution to allow me to sign it?
Resolution and motion are basically the same thing.
Okay.
That's what you just.
I didn't know if it was like a roll call thing or,
No.
okay. North Star sign permit refund. Mary Lou, do you know?
Gentleman came in, someone called him and told him he needed a signed permit. He came in, made out the application, the fee's $5. He made up the application for a sign, and then we found out it was a banner, which he doesn't need a permit for. So Molly was asking if we should refund him the $5.
What does everybody think? Take a motion to refund his $5 for the sign permit?
Did we know it was a banner when?
I didn't know, he didn't say it when he gave it. But when he talked to Shucky, he said, no, it's a banner.
How much money are we talking about?
$5.
He didn't request it,
Just figured it was the right thing to do. Molly wanted to- Sounds like
Should
Molly.
give us $5 back.
Motion by trustee Jarvis to refund. Anybody want to second that?
Guess we're keeping it.
For a second? Okay, then I guess, I'll take a motion to not refund his money.
You don't need to do that.
No?
I mean, you have
Okay.
money. I mean, it's. You don't need the
So
motion if
just
you're
be
gonna
done with it.
refund
All right. Okay, Historical Society's done. Friendship Island waive water sewer late charges, wrong address and account.
Must have been, I don't know, must have been sent to the wrong place.
Okay, I think that was, Molly said there's 2 addresses, or I can't remember exactly, but she sent it to the wrong address, so they did not get any of their notifications. So they're going to pay the bill, they just want the late charges waived. How much, do you know how much the late charges are?
I don't know if it was a business or depends on what it was. If it was a business or a house or
Yeah.
if there was usage or not.
What was it for?
It says water and sewer.
And sewer for Friendship Island.
The Friendship Island is Dave Garlock, and he owns several properties, so I don't know which one.
Friendship Island wouldn't have, that's the name of the corporation, I'm assuming.
Right, it's not.
It's not.
Because I was
We don't run the
confused
water
about-
and sewer to any islands.
I thought maybe Friendly Island would change their name. She said no.
I think that's a DDA,
Do we want
actually.
to table that until we find out more information?
Whose responsibility is it to give the village a change of address?
Would be the property owner.
Yeah.
But do we know that did we put the wrong address on it, or did we
No,
not get it?
I'm just
So you
throwing
may
it.
need
Yeah, I don't know
more
if it was one name, parcel. So we any more info on that.
Take a motion to table.
I'll make a motion.
to table that.
Second.
Motion by trustee Henry, seconded by trustee Williams. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Riverwalk.
It's my suggestion that your board designate 1 or 2 people to work out easement questions with the people we need easements from, so we can start getting those resolved. I believe that, I know I had a conversation with the attorney for the hospital, and they're anxious to sit down with you.
Any volunteers?
I'll work on them.
Anybody else?
So,
Okay.
all right.
Set up a meeting for that.
Hey, I'll work on setting something up.
Okay.
There's Cindy and someone else.
Steve. Okay. Catherine Avenue updates. Steve, do you have anything?
Well, we got 2 more that finally signed off on their easements for the Catherine Avenue project, and there's 7 left.
Yeah, we got one today. Make it 6.
Who's that?
Campbell.
There's one, I think she lives in Cernak Lake in a nursing home, and I believe it's a relative of Molly's.
Right.
And I'm requesting permission from Molly to travel to get the signed documents signed.
I think that we talked about this in that
I don't
press
know
release.
if she's a relative or just good friends.
I think that's the only way that we're gonna get it, is to have Molly go and get it.
Is there any on there that we need to personally talk to? Because I talked to a couple that were holding out because of the questions that they were getting. I did talk to a couple of them that got them to come in.
I'm sure you did. But we gave Steve a list earlier, so I think if you can go over
Yeah,
that.
'cause I did. I talked to a couple that didn't write some of the answers.
We have one that's in California, and we understand that's on the way back. That's lot 21 there, but I haven't got it yet, but they've advised us they're sending it back. So we're getting down there, but we still got a few more to get.
Anything else? Okay. Senior housing grant for low-income feasibility study. Right. That was something Dale Honeyman was asking about, and I don't, he's not here. Do you know anything about it, Mary Lynn? Neither do I. I guess I'll have to talk to Dale about that. Website.
I'm gonna get with Mr. Cummins next week.
Okay.
He's on vacation, and we get a chance to start and put it together.
Okay. Good. Fire maintenance, we have an application here from Tony Cullen, who would like to basically do just what Gun Grimes was doing, correct?
I didn't know anything about it, so I just
No.
read it.
Yes.
Yeah? I'm just looking at some fire department guys here, figured you guys all know. Does anybody want to look at that? And
I have to abstain from it, so I don't think I can vote on it.
Did the fire chief see it? The fire chief know about it, Russ?
Yes. The fire chief recommended him.
Well, those trucks need to be ready to go, you know what I mean?
If the fire chief recommended him, I will make a motion.
And I'll second it.
motion by trustee Penn, seconded by trustee Williams to hire Tony Cullen. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. IT contract, advanced business services. Do you know what this is?
That's a maintenance on the copier.
Oh, okay. So what do you need, just a motion to pay
Yeah,
it?
so if you want a contract with them, sign a contract.
Oh,
I don't know if it
okay.
tells how much what the.
Oh, 10 hours IT, all of our computer work. So that would be for the year? That's what that is?
That would be for a year, yes.
Okay. And is that who's done ours in the past? Do you know? Same,
Yeah.
same company?
You need
Yeah.
one?
That's a large amount.
For what? Copy machine?
That's all they service, right?
Yeah, it's based on how many copies you do in a year.
How much is it?
$790.
I'm not really familiar with these copy
I don't know if that
contracts.
includes the
Equipment, ink, and that stuff.
Isn't toner
You
the
know,
expensive
computer work,
thing?
no.
Is toner included in those? Can we ask?
That depends on your contract.
Well, do we want to,
It used to be here, because that guy
I
used
want
to
to make a motion to table that, we'll get more information, please.
okay. Motion by trustee Jarvis to table. Anybody want to second that?
I'll second it.
Seconded by trustee Penn, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. I need a motion to amend abstract May 8th balance from $52,413.73 to $52,541.73 due to a check not registered to postmaster for $128.
I make that motion.
Motion by trustee Williams,
Seconded.
seconded by trustee Henry, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. To whom it may concern, I, Kathy Klein, owner of Riverbank Gallery, 6 James Street, would like to get a permit to sell hot dogs and soda on my property for the following events: Bike Weekend, River Run, 4th of July, Hog Rally, July 12th, 13th, and 14th, Pirates Weekend, 10th, 11th, 12th, 17th, 18th, 19th, Blues in the Bay, 30, 31st, 1 and 2. Thank you, Kathy Klein. She called me and asked me about that, so I called Shoki, who said that it's absolutely fine as long as it's on her property, because she has a bathroom, and if the money's exchanged inside. So I guess it's kind of the same as, like when Dock of the Bay pulls out their barbecue and does hamburgers and hot dogs out front. So, I don't know what everybody's thoughts are on that. I mean,
Does she have to get a health permit to do that?
she spoke with the health department, they said she didn't need anything from them, so.
So she's gonna take money inside the place?
She's gonna take money inside. That was, I just relayed to her what Shoki said, but as long as it was exchanged inside. So, any business owners wanna weigh in on that? Thoughts?
My thought is if it's legal to do, we don't need to make motion to do it.
Well, and that's what I said to Shoki, but Shoki said it's perfectly legal, but she needs the board's permission. But I agree with you, if it's on her property, and the health department doesn't have a problem with it. Alan?
She submitted an application to participate in the grant program that appears on the footprint of her property. There is no property, the building is property.
Oh, really?
I don't know that for sure, but it's not a very good drawing, it's off the plans.
Mhm. She said her driveway next to it is her property, but I agree with you. If it's not, if it's okay to do it, Shoki says it's okay, I don't see why we need a motion. Any other thoughts?
Should we send a letter to her and tell her that we need a health permit? Or she needs a health permit? And it needs to, somebody had a question that she had any property,
Sure.
other than what the building's on.
Is it
Well,
a building?
again, if your law allows it,
Mhm.
what are you approving? I mean, there's nothing that your law requires you to approve if it's permitted. I mean, that's why the
Right.
code officer is to review these applications and approval. And unless your law says that the approval has to come from your board, I'm not aware of that. Unless it says the approval has to come from your board, I don't know why it's in front of you. Obviously, you can't give permission to do something on somebody else's property.
Unless she rents it. She might rent that parking spot.
I don't know.
It's actually, if you go down there right now, there's brand new pins down there. I think you've been down there, I think there's brand new civilian pins around that.
If I wanted to do the same thing, what you're saying is I wouldn't even need to come to the village to ask permission,
If you own property according to Shoki,
or if they lease property,
and a bathroom, you have
or if
to,
I lease property.
right.
But you gotta have a bathroom.
Okay, we can still send her a letter and
You
just let her
got
know.
proper hand washing facilities too, don't you?
Yeah, that's a health permit.
Well, I mean, she's going to have to comply with whatever Department of Health needs from her, no matter what. That's,
Well, they said because she had a bathroom, all they were worried about was the bathroom and sanitary, that everything was sanitary, and she complies with all of that, so she said she didn't need anything from them, but,
What type of facility is it gonna be?
What's
Is it a
that?
cart or what is it?
no, it's just gonna be a grill on her, just a grill that she
I
can
believe
make
the
out.
bathroom, they're talking about employee bathroom, not public bathroom. Your employees have to have means to wash their hands
Oh, okay.
And to wash the equipment.
and wash it, so they have to be been said.
Okay. I'll just speak with her and let her know that it's not really regulated by us and have her check with Shooky again. The computer store for the police department. The police department's computers have been down, one computer has been down for several months, which has the surveillance for the cells and a couple other things. So we have an estimate to get him, I think it's a new desktop, video capture card and video desktop, and the total is $1,007, which he has in his budget. So I would take a motion to allow him to get a computer that he needs. Motion by trustee Penn,
Second.
seconded by trustee Jarvis. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. And I have one more thing on new business. Dear Mayor, jury, and village board members, I am submitting this letter on behalf of Mike Bresnahan of the Admiral's Inn, who will once again be hosting the annual Corvette Club gathering on Thursday, June 28th. He is requesting permission from the village of Alexander Bay to post Corvette parking only signs on 30 of the downtown parking spots for this event. Parking would be reserved only from 6 to 8. Thank you for your time and consideration on this matter, and look forward to your reply. We reached at the chamber. Sincerely, Sue Boyer.
What's the date?
June 28th, Thursday, June 28th, 2012, from 6 until 8. I think it's PM. And he does it, I think he's done this for several years. So, what's everybody's thoughts?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion by trustee Henry, seconded by trustee Williams. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Anybody have anything else under new business? No? Public concerns? Jim?
Last Friday, when we met with River Hospital, anyway, they were upset over the terminology eminent domain. And then it's been bantered, it's been called eminent domain, it's been called easements. I understand the difference between the two. My question is, did you just use easements as an example tonight? So is it a federal grant that requires eminent domain? Or is it a federal grant that just requires a process of, I don't know.
I'll take a shot at it if it's all right.
Yes, please.
Anytime you have a public works project, Riverwalk being one, frequently there's the need to obtain some sort of rights to use property, whether it's to own it outright or just have a right to use it, such as an easement. That's all an easement is a right to use property for a certain purpose. In the vast majority of the public works projects we're involved with, water, sewer, and so forth, usually we just try to get an easement voluntarily from the people that are involved because, one, it's easier, it's friendlier, and normally we get them without having to pay for them, okay? The eminent domain process is a process you use to obtain that same right where somebody is willing to give it to you, all right? And we've actually used it once, maybe twice in the village that I can think of when we had to get some sewer easements, I believe, and we had a couple of people that just didn't want to give them to us, but we needed them for the main line. So it's been used at least once before that I know of in the village, quite a while ago. It was for a very minor easement, but we had to do it so we could go ahead with the project. In this particular case, the grant for the Riverwalk is under a federal program administered through the state DOT. And they have told us repeatedly that their grant requirements are that we enable ourselves to get the property rights by at least getting eminent domain in place if we need it. All right? Now, my argument with them has been right along, we have cooperative landowners here. Just let me go get the easements and we won't have to go through any of this. But they've insisted that the grant requires that we at least be enabled in case for some reason that voluntary process fails, we're still able to proceed. And so we've sort of been forced into it in a way through the grant process. But it's a provision I haven't seen in any other grant program I've been involved with, but apparently it's part of this. We had a meeting prior to all of this with DOT to try to talk them out of it, and they were insistent it had to be done.
So that's there in case you got an easement and started the work in front of a piece of property that you had the easement on, and all of a sudden the owner says you no longer have.
Well, once we have the signed easement, they can't do that.
Right.
Once we got the signed easement, they're locked in. I think their position was, you know, if your project should change even in the slightest amount, you have to go back now to modify your easement. They say, no, where are you? You know? And so I think they viewed it as a sort of just in case thing. But, you know, it was not obvious.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Any other public concerns? Ron?
A week from this Thursday will be Fort Drum River Day downtown. It's the 21st. So we're just going to try to encourage everyone to put any signs out, you know, as far as thanking the soldiers. But there'll be a lot of people here. The owner of the Alex Bay Drive-In agreed to allow to use the drive-in for overflow parking, and that's going to help hugely. That's our single biggest problem, is having enough space for the cars.
Are you going to use the same route that you did last year as far as the buses? Remember they dropped off in front of the church?
Right, we're going to do the same thing, and then they're going to eat up at the, they already asked
Right.
permission there, they're going to eat up at the park.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, I'll take a motion to go into executive session for personnel.
Make that motion.
Motion by trustee Jarvis, second by trustee Williams, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.